Should never double check if I posted those right. Alright, I did. Hey, stream. It's Friday. Broke dolphin. A few poor dolphins got some crap to deal with. So we are back working on picture from last Tuesday. Hello, hello. And as I thought, I'm coming back here, I'm really not liking her pose. Really, the main thing I'm not liking is the freaking suit. That I almost think is like the thing ruining it the most. But the way I feel is that this should be bent more, like she should be pushing into this a bit more, I think. Which actually could work out well, I think. So we're gonna... Oops, I forgot it doesn't bend that way. We're going to bend that. I'm going to place it around a little bit. So I was staring at this like, well, or before the stream started while I was setting it up, and I was like, immediately was like, yeah, this is not going to work. Let's not do that right away. That's her left leg. It was we were working on, or as per norm when I do a picture, people vote on what they want to have, and it was voted to do a Lyra Bonbon secret agent one. So that's what we're doing. Actually, this probably needs to be turned out more. Yeah, do like that. I'm really not liking how she, like, the legs are the hardest part to fix if I need to change anything in the future, but I'm not liking a lot of the other stuff. No, I keep forgetting to get back to the Blackjack one. I can't really do that on stream, like, otherwise I would, because that file is so intensive for stuff that it just slows down everything. But yeah, I do have to. The main problem I had with Blackjack was because with Pip, I could put it in one spot and everybody was visible around her, but Blackjack wasn't. There was people. No matter what angle you went to, somebody from the original was behind her, because it was positioned where each side would show their character from their book on the backside, and so that's the repositioning for that made that a little bit more difficult. But I do want to. I just been really slow about it. I keep having some other priority come up to work on first, and right now it's. I'm trying to finish the Astero video in the background. Actually, just before starting the stream here, I was running this in 4K, and I was doing some of the fix renders, like fixing the because this is actually the most annoying part of the renders to do, because like these are the 4K renders for it, but like at the beginning here, you got this, and I don't want that. That looks bad. So I have to do a fixed render. So this is 76 that it starts at, so I have to do a render that starts, so this is 76, and so it starts a couple frames before where the eyes are doing that, and then when you get to 76 the eyes are already closed. So I have to do these small little like 10 to 12 frame renders to fix the eyes so you don't get this. So that's my goal right now. I can't do any of the color correction or the other editing until that's done, and each of those takes about 5 to 10 minutes to run, just so like those couple of frames. So yeah, time consuming. God, there's so many quotes from that YouTube poop. I just think about all the steak. I fucking love steak. Mass Effect YouTube poops were hilarious. Alright, so I was gonna turn her back up here. That just looks better already. Yeah, it's gonna bend the chain down. Even that, I wonder if I can. No, that looks weird. So I moved her body, but then that actually fixed or undid some of the chain stuff I wanted to do. Probably put her arm higher. Oh, actually, no, I can't put her arm that much. Oh, actually, no, that's not that bad. We'll keep it like that for now. We'll require to fix the chain a bit, because it's higher. I don't know what's put on here. We're just making a picture. That's what the best, most for details I can give. Alright, I think Lyra actually needs to be turned more. Like she would need to be swinging down a bit more. I probably should put the rope as part of her character, because in a way it is. And I even think that the actual hook should be turned up more. Like that. What PC specs do I have? I haven't had to say that in a while. 4770K has, well, I can't remember. I think it's a 3.2 quad. And then two 960s, but technically SFM only runs a single. This November for Black Friday, my goal is to get a 10 level series. Okay, because I mean, they're kind of like set, at least for what I would want for a final, like, because I mean, there's still details I want to add, but at least like the general idea of it. The main... Hold on. So I thought this light's a little weird. But the main idea for what I want to do is pretty much figured out. So I need to figure out some of the background stuff now. There, now the butt's not so weird. Doing well, how are you? Alright, so if I want to have backgrounds, see, the one thing that bothered me is just that right now she doesn't look like she's looking at anything, so I need to have something at least set up with her so that she's looking at something. There, that's a little better. So at least she looks like she's looking this direction. I did do some lighting, didn't I? Yeah, very basic. There we go. Nothing to worry about right now. Alright, so I need people. There's probably going to be some kind of minion type guys. So I need big, bulky men, potentially. That sounds weird when I say it like that. I mean, there's some of the VN ones here, but most of them aren't what I would be looking for. And I don't think anybody made any of like the ones from the comic book episode. I don't know. I could use Big Mac as a base, but then they would all literally look the same. There are some raiders. Well, even then they look too much Fallout-esque. Fallout-esque. Guess I'll set to find some other ones. Actually, I can find. I can actually take some of these other ones, and I can use some of the XCOM gear to make them like military. Oh, beret's perfect. Is that set for male or female? I'm gonna guess female. So we're gonna say. Should I use iconic people or no names? I'm thinking using popular named ones would be more fun. I was thinking about using like the Mate 6 just for shits and giggles. I wonder if this hat works for Twilight. We need to see if this works. Okay, did they bone these correctly? Yes, they did. Sweet. Ah. Hair gets in the way. Just make it bigger. Gonna look French now. Yeah, that doesn't really work with her hair. Actually, it doesn't really work with anybody's hair. I mean, you have to be a freaking bald. Yeah, that's like the only way it works. Congratulations, you made a hat that works in almost no situations. Unless I just want to make her bald. Here we go. pony done. Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's not gonna work. Well, she can work. It's just not that hat's not gonna work. Well, it works, but it's just the mane is one of those things that is very very iconic, and you take that away and it's like, without that, what are you left with? Oh, I want to see Rainbow Dash with that. Gosh, sharks. Thing's huge. It's gonna weigh her head down. It's gonna be like, oh god. Dunk. Oh, she just doesn't have an edgy enough look for this. She's gotta be like super angry. And then she's gotta have her angry mouth. Or that's angry. That's not even angry. I don't know what that is. Or fight me, bro. Let's see what else other outfits bits I can make to balance this out a little bit. I thought there was like outfits. There are only helmets. There can't be only helmets. Oh, that's it? Hmm. I remember going through and finding other armor, and oh my god. This horn is huge. Sorry. Distraction. No, we don't need Deadpool. I swore that there was. That's not it. Some other armor that I had. So TF2. What was it called? I forgot what I had it named. But I know there is other armor. Template, XCOM. Dead, yeah, it doesn't work saying dead pony. They're just a dead pony. I know that there's more to this. What the hell is it moving? Oh, I thought that like toilet was moving. I don't remember always what I have for models. So yeah, there's that armor set, but that's not really that great. I swear I had like a full body thing. Because Revo's a little top heavy. I've seen Princess Deadpool before. I think I saw him at BabsCon. I So I realized that they're like acting like it's got earpieces on here, but its ears aren't there. Its ears are higher. Actually, I think I know what I'm looking for here. I think it's under crystal. Haha, yeah, I think that's what I saw. Because I ran across it yesterday when looking for crystals. It's got a whole bunch of techie stuff. Yeah, there's some full outfits, but I'm looking for any outfits that people just wear. No, guess not. Sad pages. Kind of techie. Like, go on here again. Dear. I don't know what that's supposed to be all, but what is this? Oh, it's like a holster thingy. Oh, maybe. Like I told her to shut up. But like, alright, that's alright. Well, it's probably not gonna work. Cause I need to make them look like bad guy stuff. Let me check the DeviantArts again. Ah, grenade holster, that would make more sense. Oh yeah, I didn't have that in the record. Somewhere. I swear I saw some like full armored people not too long ago. Ah, we could do. Did I download Steel Hooves? I can't even remember if I did or not. That's a big file. Okay. Need some kind of minion type people. Oh, I could do changelings too, but I feel like I've done too many of them. The Necron pony suit looks good, but I feel like it's too much of like making them look like a badass. It's more of looking for that cliche bad guy. Like this could work, but I swear I have these downloaded. Yeah, because I'm using this mask. The eyebrows just ruin it. So I'm gonna search Imperial. There we go. We can do Khajiit helmet. Use Khajiit wares. Khajiit tablet if you have coin. Why is that not coming up? What is the name of model? I probably already have it downloaded too. In the same folder. I don't have a thing for what? There we go. It is Pony IG. Wish me to pass it and I probably just didn't even notice. Yeah, okay. Alright, can we put Rainbow in the suit? Yeah. There we go, yeah. It makes sense why she's angry. Because she's like, this is totally unfashionable. I am best pony. I should look better than this. She's got things. I don't want to do that. Oh. Got super extendo nothings, I guess. There we go. Extendo. What is... The eye thing must be right next door. What's you doing? Okay. Is there... Oh, her eyes are behind her, that's why. Okay. Yeah, having a kind of a even general understanding of this alpha is nice because it's just fun to goof with. Rainbow here. It's Rainbow Dash is just probably gotta fly. Rainbow Dash there. And we'll have her we'll have her directing people, so we'll have her kind of like this. Have her go up a little bit like this. Oh. That arm took some parts of the armor with it. I don't know why that was attached to the forearm. That's interesting. Alright, whatever. Eyes. Need to get her eyes over here then. Okay, her wings are going to feel really small from this angle, especially with her armor. So I'm going to actually increase the size of them. Oh yeah. That's nice. You don't need to know. Yes, there's questions. I have them too. She's not pointing there anymore. What paragraph? Oh, if you're at like 9 lines, I'm not gonna read it right away. Yeah, if it's like an entire script for a long video that's going to take you years, I can tell you right now, probably not going to be able to do it. Because that, to me, sounds like a project that's really never going to finish. You have no idea how many big projects I hear of that just get started and burn out before they finish. Especially if it's one of your first like that. So if it's going to be super, super big like that, probably not. I mean, I haven't even done anything that big, and I've been doing this for a long time because I know what it's going to end up with. Actually, should I just... No, actually that looks fine. This is going to be blurred. Yeah, you can't even see it anyway. there's gonna be that many, so I'm just gonna put them all together. I'm gonna go with Fluttershy next. I kind of want to see what she looks like in the armor. Do I not have an enhanced? Shows how much I use Fluttershy. I don't even know if there's no. I didn't have the updated version of her. That's fine. Just leave her out. I don't care. Let's do Pinky. I could download them, but usually downloading like that, there we go, changes how the model works and the other models work, and will break some of the other stuff I have. So I want to make sure that that's done before I start installing updates. I have to go through every shot and copy paste the new model in, and it's super complicated and too much work for a video I'm trying to finish up to render. Around. I almost want to keep her hair. Well, actually, that's the other thing. Rainbow's hair's got to get out of here. What am I doing? Kind of. The back mane can stay because that fits where it is. Nah, let's get rid of it. The earpieces really in these helmets don't make much sense. You'd think that would just be removed. Because like, if you're covering them up completely, they can't hear anything. So like that. Pinky. On the other hand, I have a different idea for... Well, first I'll put her in position. Oh yeah, you work. I kind of want to have her playing with a shark. Yeah, I'm gonna put her like right here. I have one leg kind of up, one leg kind of not. I Actually, you know what? This is the side that's visible, so if any side is going to be leg down, it's got to be the other one. Otherwise, it's going to be implied that she's just floating there. Because the back leg, or the one that's up, can be seen at either side, but the one that's holding her in place can only be seen from one angle. Sense of having it like that. It should have to be like this. If you want to have her leg up. This just seems like a pinky thing to do, personally. Actually, for how this is done, then probably would make more sense to have the other leg grabbed. Change the things as I do it. Because I can't have her grabbing on both sides, there's going to be an imbalance, and that would imply falling in. I'm probably overthinking this. But the Nazi uniforms in the Flutter and the Alisha one were that was the security uniform from Overmare, the one for the vault security or whatever. I just recolored it and stuff. I might have to play with this in post because her arm is going to break, just like Dash's. Okay, might have to have both legs down here. love that face. It's probably a little bit more maniacal than I was going for. Good enough to work from this angle. If anything, actually, it should be. If I chest one, I've turned in a little bit. It's fine. That's how they chew. It's like a nose. Oh, doesn't work so well. Disconnect the teeth doing that. Oh, I do that. Alright. lost my angle here. Okay, for one, this angle needs to be played with a little bit. For one, her shoulder needs to go out a bit more. Her head needs to turn a bit more in. There it is. Oh, water sound? Oh, I have my window open a little bit. And it's a bit windy, so it might be that. And I am using Source Filmmaker. Probably should move these other sharks. Oh, that's a little bit too close. Should work. Gives the idea of it, and don't worry about it then. SFM is magic, because it's an overused phrase. Slapping anything in, any noun in with magic. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit more maniacal than I'm hoping for here. Okay, so I'll call Pinky done. So now I just need to get the apple one. Actually, I can probably get this quick. Of effect, that's not how you use it. Okay, I'm actually looking forward to having the hat on a hat. Do remember, I keep forgetting to say this at the beginning of streams, if there is any questions that people have as to how things are done or any of that mumbo jumbo, whether it's about what I'm doing right now or other questions regarding the software, just let me know. That's the point of the stream. So if there is any questions, feel free and I will answer them. Let's see, what I wish I could do is get rid of the top hair but keep the back hair. I might be able to. Because getting rid of it altogether doesn't seem to make much sense. I think if I use the hat. Where's the hat? Should be under miscellaneous or something. Is there a jiggle? No. Is it literally locked to her head? Like, I can't modify it? Really? That's just stupid. Yeah, it's not a bone merged one either. Oh, she's wearing a hat. So I might be able to hide the hair here with the hat. No, it's kind of like it might not work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I might have to just get rid of it. Well, I can alpha it out, but I can't use shadow lights then. There. That works. Well, this song has little kid sounds in it too. So now I'll just turn it off. I'm gonna probably cheat this a little bit. Logo at Pip. armor is built in such a way that it makes some of those uses a little easier, at least. Ooh. What happened here? Oh, Pip's tail is probably a 180 rotation. Your cheeks collapsed. You need to eat, Applejack. Your diet of apples is causing you some problems. I didn't copy anything there. So something got broke on model. Ah. I remember bacon. Oh yeah, I was trying to find the hat and stuff. Okay, that makes sense. No, I didn't actually do anything in Newgrounds. I knew of it, but I really didn't touch the Newgrounds at all. In terms of the pony thing, really, this is the only thing that did anything for that for me. I mean, I've done stuff before that had gained me various bits of popularity within certain sects, like when I did Halo 2 photography for a while on a website called Louvre. Like I had a couple posts on halo.bungie.org for pictures that I was doing within the photography community for it. I was pretty big name, but that was a fairly small sec at that time. When I got into Halo 3 and photos were easier to take in the software, it got so flooded and with crap that I just stopped it altogether. Then I ran a website for an MMO that I was very popular for quite a while, to where my name was pretty synonymous with that. If I went around the MMO, people would know who I was because of the website. But that was only so satisfying to it, really. Websites since went down. I stopped paying for it. $50 a year for something I didn't care about anymore. Otherwise, yeah, when I started this, it was, I really didn't have anything before starting the animation thing. So, I mean, so for four something years, 5 years, I can't remember how long I'm doing it anymore. Hello, Battalion Stallion. Glad to hear that you are up and running, kind of. No, $50 a year for the website I was hosting, because it would cost $50 a year to keep the hosting website and all the services and everything for it. But it was like 2.5 years after I really had stopped play it. I'm like, I paid over $100 and something just for a website that I had not touched in 2 years, just to ensure that other people had access to the software. I've been meaning to go on there and like get people's source files and stuff, so if other people wanted to. I think some people mirrored it in some way or another, but it just was like, I don't know. I didn't feel like paying the money for it, and I had ad stuff set up in there in certain places, but the ad revenue on it was like $10 to $20 a year because nobody ever clicked them, and I was very minimal in how I did it, so it kind of didn't. I still ended up in the negative. YouTube is way more than that right now, even though that technically doesn't pay for the expenses either. Can I shut off? Oh, that's AJ. The armor. Dar. Oh, I give her a backpack. She got a backpack. Yeah, mask. That was that. Shoulder. What's your second shoulder? She could be tanky. You'll do that. Sure. Leg guard. Boots. She can keep all that on. Helmet. You? Oh, unicorn. Okay. That kind of ruins it. No, swearing and stuff, I mean, that's not a lot of the problem. It's the main problem with YouTube is the automation that everything is. So like there are some complaints for people regarding they added in the ability to stream from your phone, which is great. It's really cool that you can stream from your phone and stuff. But when people were getting their streams pulled and couldn't monetize because vaguely in the background is music playing that you did not intend or even know was playing, and suddenly whatever you had can't be monetized or anything, that defeats the whole purpose of you having that system. I've had that problem before or where you're streaming. I streamed on YouTube for a bit, but I had to be so careful on what was playing in the background of everything because anything could potentially set it off, and if it gets too much copyrighted content that it notices within a couple minute period, it will cut your stream, which is stupid when you're and it's like now with the stuff with guns and some of the violent stuff, it's just there's too much on YouTube for it to go have somebody double check everything manually, which I can completely understand. There's way too much, but the algorithm is stupid. But if you make an algorithm that's smarter, people are going to find ways around it, which means then that YouTube has to work up a more stringent algorithm, which is going to be putting it back where we are anyway. So it's a lose-lose, being that YouTube is no matter what going to have to be to try to be what it wants to be. It's got to be so stringent on copyright that it's just going to end up being that it's going to be pushing out the people that aren't already big names that can put money into like all their own music, all their own video resources and everything. They're trying to be a Netflix, but they're starting from the other platform and they're pushing everybody else away. So I don't really like that. Eventually I think that YouTube is going to have a lot of people that were on YouTube, got big and had the money from YouTube to be able to build up a studio of sorts, but eventually their content's going to run dry because you're not going to have anybody else that's able to build up to get to that anymore. So I don't know. I never tried to make YouTube my job or anything, and I never wanted to be. That's what Patreon is suffer for, and a lot of people have said that that's going to be a better method for making money from YouTube. Oh yeah, mouth. So I think right now, what do I make on YouTube right now? Just because I'm curious. Which almost 90% of it is tutorials. That's kind of why I make them, because they're the only thing I can make money on. $36 a month. So for all the stuff I've done in the sub count, I make $36 a month. But I pay $50 a month just in Adobe. So it balances out to where without Patreon, I'd be in the negative. And that only pays out whenever it hits 100, so I only get the money every 2 to 2.5 months or so. To feel like this doesn't feel like it's connecting, and it obviously isn't. No, actually, it's better right now than it's been in a while because I redid some of the stuff in the background for like ad stuff. But like the biggest video I would have had for ad revenue, which was just Twidash, I had custom music done for it, and I already got permission to use that and everything for monetization purposes. I paid the guy for it, and I put it out, and there was nothing wrong with the music. But it was pulled for a random check in which I had to provide written proof that I had the authority to utilize the models for monetary purposes, which I was never going to be able to get. And I'm like, how do you even get that? Like, there's too many different resources. So I wasn't able to monetize it, and I still can't. And now that's almost at 10 million views. And if at that point it was considered to be about $1 per 1,000 views. So that would have been potentially a huge amount, but I couldn't do it. Just because it got pulled for a random. If a video gets super popular, super quick, and it's not like a video recorded one from your house, they're gonna probably just flag it to randomly have you check to make sure that everything is right. It's your YouTube goes off the guilty until proven innocent approach, and they don't care. They're a behemoth. Why should they care? I think to get this positioned in such a way that I would be able to have them lock eyes would require me to break her neck more than it already is, which is pretty broken. I can clean up some of that post, so I'm not too worried about that. But again, the when I started doing the YouTube thing, one of the things I made as a creed when I started was that I wasn't going to limit content for the purpose of making dosh. Because if you're doing that, you know what's going to be the best for something, and then you're toning it down because you're trying to make money on it. No, I didn't want to do that. So I ignored anything with that, and whatever worked, I put it out, and if I could, great. If I couldn't, oh well. So I mean, I have a good job right now. I'm not worried. It's not like I need cash on the side. All it would be is just bonus. So, and the only reason I made a Patreon is because people requested it. So that's why there's no rewards or anything on there, because I didn't want to have. That would be making it a job to me. Plus, it's really hard to come up with the rewards when it's paid by per video, because that's like, say you did things that were monthly, but then you've only made a video every 3 months. That felt like people could just join for like a couple months and then, without actually paying anything, reap the benefits and then just drop out before anything went through, which doesn't seem, that didn't make sense to me. So that's why I never did anything with benefits either, or extras. So it's just more of if people want to be kind and help cover costs and stuff, because it's not just Adobe that I pay for $50 a month. I mean, I also I try to keep my computer up to date, and like one time for streams I had to emergency buy a power supply for my computer because it was crashing and I couldn't stream, so I had to go and buy that and had it rush shipped or whatever. I bought a laptop specifically for conventions and stuff, and that cost like $900, and I only use it for conventions, but it's come in handy for being able to show stuff at once, and now I have plans for some other future conventions to be utilizing it more. So I'm trying to think what the other one was. I don't consider the travel expenses and lodging for conventions. That's me because it's fun. I think I thought there was just something else. Oh, there's some other plugins for like After Effects I'm considering getting that would cost money. That would be specific for this too. I'm not really liking. I think it's her neck is still bugging me. Maybe if I pull it in more. That's actually a little better. Still, that suit is just being torn to shit. I think, let me try something. Well, the thing is making videos for fun is fine, but sometimes it's a lot of work, and if you really want to get involved with a lot of it, it costs money, and it's hard to justify spending a whole bunch of money on something that is created for the entertainment of somebody else. So it does help to at least cover some of that, and if I had more coming in, I would be spending a lot of it on getting extra stuff, like some of the extra effects stuff, and for getting more custom stuff done. But because I don't have a lot of that, I'm just make do with what I have. So that's why I like I take models that already exist and find ways to utilize them in awkward ways, because I feel that that's all I'm going to be able to do. I don't want to spend crap loads of money trying to do kind of overstep that what I'm able to. This tail's gonna bug me. You know, I'm gonna shrink her tail. Because otherwise it's gonna be way too big to do anything with. Well, that might be too small. And I turned it upside down because it has, it looks better for what I'm doing. Actually, she can be big. Actually, I have a mic. I have a stand, but it's awkward. And again, I'm trying not to drop crap loads of money on things like that. The mic alone cost me $100 something bucks. I wonder if something like that would work. Because I don't want to have it like up in face territory. It's AT 2020. Yeah, AT 2020. A Blur Yeti. I like a Blur Yeti. I got it when it was like during a Black Friday sale. It was quite a bit cheaper and came with the pop filter and a bunch of other stuff. But like, I have a stand for it, but I move around a lot, and to have that here would be super distracting. So I have to have it off to the side. And my old desk used to have it set up where I could hang it next to me, but now with how my setup is now, that used to be a corner, but now it's to the rest of the room. So putting a stand there would be very much in the way, and I don't want to set up a stand every time, especially since how my desk is set up. I can't fit it around the back easily. I'd have to like move the whole desk to do it. And it was a really cheap stand that doesn't work very well. It can only hold it in like 3 different positions, and none of which actually are comfortable. So I ended up being so I'm not even using it anymore. I just put it on my desk with it has a stand, but it's just not a very good stand, and the pop filter doesn't attach to it, so I just have it floating there. Yeah, it's a USB version, because I don't want to buy a special video card and a whole bunch of other stuff just so I can plug it in to have that little increased quality. Screw that. I got this one because it was on sale. Might need to drop the aperture. It's a little strong. Get rid of the dolphin. Because this shark right now is very distracting. Well, an arm and stuff would be great, but I'm not. It's just a lot of that stuff is stupid expensive, and I'm not going to drop so much for something that's just going to help out in little bits. Okay, I have to be careful because this is looking like she's looking at the camera now. I don't want that. Yeah, that's okay. When I have a cheap arm, like I said, it's just I have nowhere to put it. I'd have to rearrange everything. I'm not doing it. Like, I already have a pop filter. That's what I have to. But I just have it literally just wrapped on the ground with this over it, because that's the only option I have for actually using it right now. I wasn't even using a. Sorry if that's making noise. There we go. I wasn't even using a pop filter for a while because I wasn't actually popping. There was no, I wasn't directly aimed at it anyway. To me, those aren't really that useful unless you're like right by it to where you can actually get the air going at it. Otherwise, it's just useless. I readjusted so I'm a little closer recently. That's why I pushed my monitor up and further back. But again, I move around too much. I get antsy. This doesn't even make sense how it is right now. Does it make sense to do this? See, that doesn't actually make any sense. This would still be pulled fairly taut. Alright, I probably should do some of the lighting here. Yeah, and that's what I have. The pop filter came with it, but they're only like $5 anyway. They're super cheap. But yeah, that's why I have it off the side so it's not here. And if I go and actually use it for like a lot of the like when I'm doing promo stuff and I'm recording it without video, then I can actually get up closer. I'll shut off my computer so I don't have background humming or whatever, and I'll use my laptop instead for recording, and that works way better. So okay, my lighting here is way bright, but it's fine. So what do I want to do for this? This is really bright. I probably want to have some kind of... I'm just going to start throwing lights out and see what happens. I don't know exactly how I want to do it. And better or best just guessing as I go. Yeah, I have like the mic for my headset. I used it on the streams for like I think the first year, and they worked it worked perfectly fine for what I needed anyway. The only reason I got this one was that Black Friday is when I tend to buy all my random upgrade stuff, and it was that time of the year, so I decided that I would get a mic for the stream, so I did. How far back am I here? Quite a bit. sure how I want to do the background here. If I want to have, I feel like this should be aimed in, but that doesn't actually make sense in the end. So. I'm trying to control from an angle that I'm not actually looking at, which is that one. There we go. Okay, this one still needs to be a little lower or something. I was doing the lighting for her, but I need to add more catwalks. I believe that these are in stacks of 4. Yep. Wait, one of them went more. Got this one. Oh no, it was this one. Is it 5? Yes. Nonetheless, in the how I usually do expenses for stuff though is I look at what's my need and how much is it worth, and is it worth it. So like when I didn't have a mic, I got a mic, but now because I'm getting a lot more intensive for a lot of stuff I'm doing in terms of quality, and some of the shots getting stupidly long render times, my expense what I want to put money into is a better graphics card instead of a dual, because I'm not actually benefiting from having 2. So I want to get a second one of that. So that's where I would rather put money on stuff. I used to try to keep track so that I was only spending money that I was getting back on YouTube, but then not long after I started, because the very first video I made for some reason that was when copyright, at least by way of YouTube, wasn't near as strict, and they haven't had set up a lot of their automated stuff. I had a song from the show. It was Find a Way. Had that video. I ended up making like a few $100s within the first like week, and I was like, wow, okay. So I was keeping track of that stuff so then I could try to reinvest it, and it didn't take long before that was called for copyright. And then since then, the amount you make on YouTube in general went down to about 1/10 that. So that's why it's like, well, there's no point in even bothering anymore. So go across this. SFM runs good for me. It's just that some of the render times just get enormous, and it's going to run hard no matter what, because it's not made to do the things that I'm sometimes pushing it to do now. For instance, like the Heroes Arise thing, I was pushing it to do things that it wasn't, to an extent that it wasn't supposed to be doing. So it was just eating at the my computer to run it, just because it's like, I'm not made to do this. What are you doing? Please stop. I don't know, that might be a little busy in the background. Yeah, I might simplify this a bit. Oh, that's like, looks perfect. Nope. Yeah, that'll work. Don't need that to be detailed. I don't know how much RAM is going to matter when you're running 32-bit program. It's only going to be able to maintain a certain amount. I mean, that's why I'm running red right here, because I'm hitting the maximum for 32-bit software. SFM's running on a very, very, very old engine, so it's not able to do, or it's not able to utilize a lot of the stuff that current graphics cards and stuff are going to be able to do. Even when I upgraded from a 7-something to a 9-something, I saw performance increase, but not that much. But again, how much did that cost? My current ones only cost me like $100 and something each. That's why I did that, because it was cheaper to buy 2 of these ones than it was to buy 1 of the higher ones. At the time, anyway. This one for now. Yeah, I'm not dropping that kind of money. There's always lots of nice stuff out there that's going to work better than what you have, but you got to work within your means. And 5,000 for a graphics card, yeah, right. Then a year later, that cost is dropped by 5 to 6 times that amount, and you're going to be out all that money just so you can have a little bit of a benefit during that time. No, I'd rather buy a car. No, too simple. I find like a hanging lamp of some sort. That's too simple still. Okay, that kind of works, but I'm looking for still something round. Actually could work. That pipe's really short though. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. It looks rusted and has that's the kind of extra detail I was hoping for. Actually, do I need it that far back? Probably not. I think I just have it that far back because that's the way it worked out. Actually, you know what? I might keep it that way. Having it separated like that will actually help me with adding details. Because I can keep the lights separated a bit easier. Come on. Now here, I'll show you what I mean by scenes that eat at your computer. I just have to restart it because it's going to crash if I open it. It crashes anytime I have another file open and I open this one, it crashes. Because it almost maxes RAM right away. I had to stop the scene build because my pen away. Because it got too big and it couldn't hold it anymore. I have to put this in a folder, I think. Oh yeah, that's actually what I was considering getting from the 960s, was to go up to a 10, whatever like the most powerful one is at the time. I'm gonna go like 1 to 2, maybe 2 steps below that. But it's gonna be really dependent, because I always wait till Black Friday for a lot of this stuff, so it just depends on what sales are going on at the time. Yeah, I don't. It wasn't T I was going for. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I was going for some kind of a 10 one. All right, I gotta shut this here. With the lights running, this is my preview speed. It's so fast. Okay, so it's like, so I'm grabbing right now, and then I start turning. There it goes. The delay is crazy. But turned out good. And the skybox is the wrong skybox right now too. But I mean, the amount of lights that are in here, I had to break them into groups. So I mean, that's this amount of lights, and I swear that there's still a couple others hiding around in some of these folders that were based on what they're used for. Particles. These are all related to particles. Yeah, there's a couple more there. So it's stuff like this that if I wanted to do stuff like this more, I would have to. Well, normally you're not going to have to build a 360 shot. That's why this was so intensive. Was trying to build something that worked from all angles. No, it doesn't support Crossfire. Although if it did, I would be running it right now because I have two 960s running, but I can't utilize both and only utilize this one. I wasn't 100% sure that when I got it, but it was more of still one of them would have been better than what I had. So this is just so slow. Go on, there it goes. So it's for stuff like this that it needs to. But another reason this is so slow is because this is not a map. If I would have compiled all this into a map, it probably would have been a lot more efficient. But I like to be able to build things as I make it or as the idea comes along, and Hammer is not a good way to figure out how the lighting and all that works. But I mean, just the sheer number of models. So I mean, all these sidewalks are separate models, the roads are separate models. Actually, I can shut this off piece by piece so we can turn off the roads. You just hear me click and I just pausing. I'm shift moving and this is the fastest I can move. All the little dirt particles I threw down. The map I was using for this. See, this is with lights off. It still runs pretty slow. It's just a skybox void. There's nothing in it. If I were to shut off everything, you get this. I mean, there's nothing. It was 100% built from scratch. Everything that's there was a loaded model. So, and you can see these are just the sidewalks. And each of those is a model. And most of them are based on being around the center location, which is right here. So most of the routes are at that point. Because the only way to ensure that I had maximum distance either direction was to place it at the center with each of the main streets aimed to the corners. But because I did that, everything was turned 45 degrees, which was hard to... 45 degrees didn't let me do a full... I couldn't drag it with that one. Any of these ones. It was on the non-straight line ones. So I had everything locked in the transform so that when I grabbed the static prop instead, Yeah, static props, since they're all locked to the same point, these ones did allow me the straight connection. This took over a month to put everything together. Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, probably. Like, it was a little hard to say. I worked on it during stream for a while and whatever. But I really liked the result at the end, so, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with it, but it did show that, you know, all this in the ground here is, I mean, these are all ground models, just to make a rough terrain that looked unique and not just copy-pasted. I didn't like AMD in terms of how a lot of the stuff ran in the background, and like their UI I didn't like. I used to have AMD and I swapped. I wasn't happy with a lot of the stuff, and I have never had any problems with NVIDIA for a lot of that stuff, so I just stuck with NVIDIA. But again, you're running an old software, so I don't think it's whatever. It's just gonna be anything is an upgrade. Pinky. This cloud's her head does not work well when blown up to that size. Well, actually, you know what? It's probably shadow light that's doing it. I bet you know how to fix that, but I don't really care. Oh yeah, we're like here. This is Monument. All these were loaded models and all custom. Street lights. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's really interesting here. I just had these organized in such a way to keep things so I could shut off little things as I needed to. Or like, yeah, in the background here, like to make some of these buildings look destroyed, I just threw rubble all over them. Because that one was a really clean looking building, which doesn't make any sense. So I just jammed rubble into it. All these buildings are actually really detailed and have a lot of interior stuff, but they were really easy to grab and use, and they're from Fallout. Some of them probably weren't needed based on the camera position. Oh wait, no, I already went through and cleaned a lot of that. If it wasn't on the camera and it wasn't visible, I got rid of it. So, yeah, street lights. Keep the road and the sidewalk. The monorail was the ones in the background, and making it actually look like they're like falling through and whatever. Bullet miscellaneous. I forgot what that stuff was. Oh, I think its main thing was, yeah, some of these extra little casings coming down. Originally, Blackjack was actually firing the weapon. Clouds in the distance, so that it created a more realistic cloud setup. This is not the right skybox though. I have to override the skybox to make it work, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't have it listed. Some light rays, make things more realistic depending on the angle. Particles, there's a crap load, and I included any exploding rocks in there too. So yeah, you put that all together and you get the thing. Oh yes, it only has a sky dome, but even that I think was changed. Or I have changed something on it since. I think I have to disable the self-illumination, because otherwise it's just making it blue. And I don't want blue. I have light shining at the actual sky dome. Runs like shit. Yeah, but if a lot of the really cool stuff out there is great and all, and the prices do drop over time, but by then the requirements for a lot of stuff that is popular or new, or the stuff that's needed at that time, then has a higher requirement. So those super popular things aren't going to be the norm, and everything else is then going to look like these super advanced ones. Because if you think about it, the cars we have right now, 3 years ago, were really powerful. But now they're like the requirement to maintain what you have. SFM's nice, I guess, because it hasn't really had any upgrades, but eventually it will, I hope. Just so slow. Oh. Too fast. I can go back. No, I don't want to go down. Go up. I don't even know which direction I'm going, because by the time I hit the button, it's not doing things. There we go. I was really happy with this scene build. It turned out pretty cool. As long as you stay around this area. Oh, God. Okay, I'm closing this. It's too hard. But I think for some of that I copy-pasted some models and recolored them just to make things work better. Otherwise it was just horribly inefficient. But I did a check, like, you can I loaded in like 300 or 400 different layer models, and I was running slow, but I was running still. But I loaded in like 30 different pony models, and it started going to crash worthy. So it's SFM is very much if it fits in memory, it still works pretty good. So, and that's why lots and lots of the same models are all in the same, using the same resource in memory. You're not storing 300 layers, you're storing one. So I've done it where I will take, or if I'm having a really complex scene, I'll just recolor a couple different people to make people in the background, instead of giving completely unique or loading in completely unique models, because really most of the models you can get away with look very much the same. I'm not going to tell the difference. I did that for chemistry. Okay, that's way too big back there. Actually, it's in the light. Well, they have a version of SFM that runs in Source 2. It's just hasn't been released. I don't want to say public yet, but it's right now restricted to only Dota. That's because Dota runs on that engine, so. But I don't even think that the Source 2 engine is complete or whatever. It's just kind of exists in a sense, but it's hard to say even in what sense. My only concern is that like there used to be updates to SFM pretty frequently, well, like every couple months at least, but there hasn't been an update to the software for about 2 years. And there are bugs that exist, it's just none of them have been touched. So my only concern is that they're either leaving it as is and moving on to other things, or they are working on Source 2 and don't see a point of supporting something that's going to be technically obsolete. So I'm not sure how Source 2 works for that stuff. The fact that it only, like, I could jump over there to a degree and work in the Source 2 engine for SFM. The main reason I haven't is that they that version doesn't support material overrides, or at least it didn't at the time it was originally created. I don't think it's changed. And material overrides are stupidly useful, and everything I do utilizes material overrides. In this shot alone, I am using material overrides for the suit color, for the tie, for her dress. I think it's the only way with this one, but everything I make uses them. So if you suddenly take away that tool to where the only way to have full control of the materials is to modify them directly. So like, if I wanted to modify, or like for the Australia video, Rainbow Dash in one of those scenes has the Discord eyes, and if I wanted to do that in that engine, I would have to modify the actual file, but it would modify all the other Rainbow Dashes that exist. So I'd have to modify it specifically to render that one shot, and then go back, change the file again to render the rest of it. Material overrides allow you to lock a change to a specific shot, and to a specific model, and to a specific texture, which is super powerful. And that's why it's like, if I didn't have those, I don't know what I would do. I rely on them too much. Is that light? Oh, it's lit from that. Okay. It's like, what's going on? It should have was like I don't know how Twitch works actually. I just stream on it. I don't actually watch it. I can't really follow myself, so there's got to be a button somewhere. I don't know where it works. And Twitch is not very good with telling people when streams start. I've had people say that it's like an hour later they've got an email that says that I started it. If you want to keep track of that, the best way to do it, I don't care about subscriber count on Twitch. Twitch is just for people who want to watch. Is this group on Steam? Because sometimes it might not be until like 10 minutes before the stream, but should always have an announcement that comes up and on Steam. Oh, the subscribe button. Okay, for that I haven't set it up yet. I'm really lazy. I did get you have to be contacted in regards, and they did, but originally the contacting regarding their affiliate for Twitch was that people could pay money to get little icons on the chat. These little stupid icons. I'm like, that is stupid, and I didn't even bother. I'm not wasting my time on that because I have to go through all these other hoops to make that work. And now with the subscriber thing, that kind of makes a little more sense, but still, I just haven't gotten around to it. But I mean, if people are interested, I can definitely work on getting that set up. I don't know how it works. I haven't really looked into the details of it, but I know that there's some weird things with it. Hi Genma, how are you? We're making stupid. And this is non-volumetric, so this is lamp light. I don't make it easy because because I have a job and I'm fine on my own, and it's not like I'm working doing this for the purpose of making any type of money on it. It's like some people have said with like, I want you to make this video, how much would it cost? I'm like, well, my time is more valuable to me than that, because being paid to do one thing, I don't know how I want to say it, it feels like I have enough on the side to do what I need to do and to live, so it's not like so the time that I do spend, I'd rather do it for like fun, and so I don't want to. If anybody wants to get stuff, it's usually just because if you do this, great and that's awesome and I love it, but I feel like if I'm pushing people and like being like, you can do this and you can do this, you can do this and do this, and it's like, but I don't need all that, so why should I push on it? So I don't know. Usually when I'm done streaming, I just go play video games or something. I just normal life after that. But yeah, I'll work on trying to set something up. Otherwise, I mean, there is Patreon and stuff, but usually that's very much only when stuff is released when I make videos, and that's not very often. I've thought about changing Patreon to monthly, but that'd end up being a complete redo of the entire thing, and I'm not gonna do that. I set in the background stuff. Well, that's perfectly fine. No, I'll work on trying to get the Twitch thing set up. I have it. I usually, when I get emails of stuff that I want to pay attention to, I don't delete them. I just keep them on my main inbox. But I've been so lazy about getting caught up on that. I have like 45 emails in there. I have to somehow, or different comments that I want to try to reply to and whatever. So that's one of them. So one of them was, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I got this most amazing DM on YouTube. I don't know if this was supposed to be serious or not, but it's hilarious. And I will read it because the complexity of trying to read it might be entertaining. So the actual message was with a link, but they destroyed the link because they can't post a link to it. And so I'm going to read it as it's written. And there's one phrase that I just love here. There's a psychic available at the website I told to you if you erase the spaces in between the words and the dot / after Nancy Meyer, which is before the dash / after the dash, which is before the Nancy Meyer, the spaces, they repeated it. After the psychic detective, before the dot, which is before the com / the spaces after the com. I'm just avoiding hot linking. That's not actually spaces in between all of those. Then there's a psychic available for hire by sending payment to her house address listed on the website / by calling her to see if she got the same payment you sent you / getting a pen / paper ready right before you call her in case if she did get the payment. Then if she can trace Gregory Perelman's phone number / write the phone number down in case we contact him / write down the date she traces using psychic power to see what date hell finish his invention on, the one that uses math equation like E = MC squared to generate crap that travels like electricity / you can program anything you want, indeed regeneration and undoing loss of lifespan for an infinite lifespan. Please, can you hire the psychic? I told you to do just that. My favorite phrase currently is the one that uses the math equation like E = MC squared to generate crap that travels like electricity. Yeah, I was so confused. I had no idea. I think it's spam, but I'm not sure or not. And so I had to screen cap it because it is wonderful. It was so good. I love it. Oh yeah, and there is no periods. Actually, most of the periods are in the middle where they just put a whole bunch of dots. Yeah. But the first third of it is just describing how to like interpret a link, which is just like a bunch of spaces for everything. There's all kinds of people. I was saying that that a Nigerian prince would probably have been smarter about it. Why is this? Oh, I'm hitting the minimum, aren't I? Yes. There we go. But I actually have that on my Twitter if you want to find the actual written version. It's just so good. This one's probably going to cover everything, not just that area. Yes, I like Blue Horse the best. Originally, I was more of like a Twilight person because nerd and everything, but I became more RD focused actually because of a fanfic called Bluebird Song. The rainbow that is portrayed in that book, I like fell in love with. It was just it's similar to the normal one, but it was as if RD had realized that about the how much the boasting was making her look like a jerk to some people, and ended up being more of a role model personality that she started using. And I really liked how that was written, and so I kind of saw any other use of Rainbow Dash after that as that kind of character, and it just, I don't know, just from there I just started liking Rainbow Dash more. So, but I don't know, I just like the brash attitude and the personality more than most, more direct, so I think that is not straight. It is not. I think if Red Spring is dumb. I don't know if you went through my list or something, but yeah, a lot of people portray Rainbow Dash pretty well in the fics and stuff, but Bluebird Song was one of my absolute favorite fics for the longest time. And originally, like, if you actually go through my files here, in my canceled folder, I have one called Bluebird Clip. I was originally working on a video for it, but that was like 4 years ago at this point. Oh god, over 4 years ago. Jesus Christ. It was one of the first videos I was working on because I just was inspired by it by quite a bit, but I never got around to doing anything about it. Or finishing it. this is, I believe, the main light. So this is main. Oops. No, but there's also what was the other fic? It was a shipping fic, but with Rainbow Dash and Spitfire, but that one actually had a similar vibe to it. I'm trying to remember what that one was called though. I don't know if it was. I think Fire and Ice, but I think that was actually the sequel, which I don't think ever finished. Now that I think about it. But that one actually kind of got me to like Spitfire because it showed her kind of in a similar light, putting out her personality in a different way. Okay, this change in lighting actually makes none of these lights make sense anymore. But I really do like this background now. Now it feels kind of like a warehouse look or something, which makes sense. This rim light works for... Oh, I'm going to redo all these because this is not working. Alright. I'm going to do this based on a per area basis because otherwise it's just not going to work. So this one, most of the lights are coming from the far side, not from the close side. So that means that this is probably going to be the more minimal light and not very strong. So I'm going to put... this like let's just say like this for now. I'll put the radius up. That'll help blend it around the corners a little bit. Okay, main. I have to be careful with this because this is going to be hitting Lyra different than it's going to be hitting Sweetie Drops there. I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of. Let's just make sure that dress is going to show right. I can add extra lights if I need. I'll try that. Alright, I'm not going to name these anything different because I just don't care enough. The main thing is I need to have a nice sharp light, I think, on this corner. Okay, I think this main's going to need to be dropped down a little bit. I have to be careful on that. Because their face is on this side, I don't want to darken it too much. Any projects? Nice thing is actually I don't have anything in the works that I can't show you, but as of right now, like I have stuff that's started, but I need to. It's like getting the motivation to actually finishing of them. Because like last time we started the Crackle thing, but that's really nowhere yet. I started this, but I haven't actually done anything with it yet. I want to go back to it eventually. My only worry is that since I'm going to be using a copyrighted song, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. but haven't done anything more with that. And actually, there's some errors here. I did all the lip syncing for it, which is the annoying part. The whole thing, actually. Oh yeah, there's just more to add. I didn't actually finish it, that part, but yeah, so like that, I want to do. This one I have to do some stuff with. I was considering doing a partial commission thing, where some of the stuff that I've done that was looped GIFs of stuff, like looped animations, I've had people grab them to use as like backgrounds on videos for like when music was playing and stuff. So I was considering making a bunch of different types of those that people could just request and I just swap out a pony for if they want for a specific situation. And so I wouldn't have to make, and then they would be like, if they wanted to get a 4K file, they could like buy the right to use it. Because commissions are super time intensive, but that would be a way that I could like create something that could work that way. I don't know. So like I started this as one of those because I wanted to make 4 or 5, and then this ended up going to the wayside for a while. I just didn't like the pose there, so I wanted to go back and do that again. Actually, she's not even moving. I haven't even done that yet. So stuff like this that would just be a looping GIF. Or not GIF, but like that it could be recorded in 4K and people could use it for whatever. But I haven't actually went around to finishing that. That's what it looks like rendered. So, but like that one took me one evening. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. I never got around to finishing this.
You cannot hide from Pink Pony.
That was originally just going to be some for Anthology, maybe, but then I just decided not to.
You cannot hide from Pink Pony.
Whatever, that was cheap. This one was another anthology one that I never would have been too intensive in terms of lip syncing, so I passed on. All I did was the lip syncing for it right now, or like part of it.
Whoa, what's happening? Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose?
Yeah, that's all I do right now.
Who am I? Okay, calm down, get a grip now.
Copy paste, that's why this part came up again.
Who am I?
It was the falling whale from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Laser Chase has nothing in it. It was just going to be Twilight acting like a cat chasing a laser light, and then ended up taking, or once I actually planned it out, it was going to take too long. So I passed on it. The mech suit got canceled. I was doing the Samurai Jack thing, but mainly was testing, trying to see if I could get cartoonish lighting to work on a model, and it didn't work. I do a lot of stuff on the side. I just never put any of it out. I think there's nothing else in here. I have several other places I want to go back to. The Where Are We Going? I canceled after a while because never was going to finish that. I actually started doing some stuff from Ashley H's thing, but a model didn't work out well, so I put that on hold potentially indefinitely. The Ember video, I still have to do that one. Oh, and my Psychic Horse. I forgot about Psychic Horse. No, I've already done that, going through the files and like going, what the hell? Like the picture that I'm working on. I just called it Pictor. Because I created the file to goof around and while trying to figure out what to do for the picture, but so I have no idea what to name it at first. And so I have to go back and rename it later. But sometimes I forget to, and I'll just throw it somewhere, and then I don't remember what it is. So I had to go through files. I think it was about 6 or 8 months ago. I went through and I just had to open up everything and be like, I need to name this something that's more identifiable. But like this one actually has a stupid ending right now. Don't have that part done yet. I just decided to leave that. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be going back to that one or not. I like the way it was turning out. The nice thing about this one is it allowed me... I've been doing a lot of copy of stuff where cameras are kind of at least halfway or another locked to something that already pre-existed, and not like being able to have the control. Some of the anthology shorts were more open, but they were such shortcuts. Or jammed into such a tight space that it didn't offer me a lot of the more development that I like. So yeah, so Dolphin. Psychic Chorus was put on hold long ago because of, I mean, this is back for even just doing coloring. I mean, this was God, old. But it was audio that was from Bravest Warriors mixed with the Super Saiyan 3 theme that somebody did.
Across the precipice of the infinite.
Do not look back. Its grotesque splendor is more than human minds can endure.
It's too fast!
Fear not, the power
I don't even know if all the models work.
me. Form psychic horse armor, form psychic crown, and a mean-ass hairdo, and a beard.
We're gonna die, horse!
Outright.
Psychic moves of fire.
This is like 4 years ago at this point. It was so bad.
Peppa! Why are we running?
Yeah, that is, I don't know. That one I canceled because they an update for SFM back when they actually did updates broke everything, and I gave up. I mean, my whole scene build collapsed. They did another update later that fixed that issue, and it fixed itself, but by then I didn't care anymore. This one was another one that I think all this was is lip syncing. But I don't. This one I want to do, but it just would be too much time.
Remember when you said together till the end, we would stay together.
This wasn't sure if mouth would work for lip syncing, but I was actually really happy with how this turned out.
We would stay together, chasing down forever.
Like that V, I was really proud of.
Chasing down forever.
But yeah, Luna's can work. Celestia's, I don't know if she works as well for lip syncing stuff. I have an idea for a video, but I never that using the two of them. I have an idea for one that'd be a little slower pace, maybe easier, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing it. Ember's head dimensions might be a little bit off, but it's trying to convert something that's in 2D to 3D to where it looks the same from the 2D from all angles is difficult, to where her head looks really good from specific angles, but to make it work from that third dimension, you're going to have angles that don't exactly look right. But that's... I think it would take too much time to make it look right. The significance of Marina, if you're talking about the Everfree OC, Rainbow Slam. Yeah, that one's from the trailer thing. Foliage demo. That was a big scene build. Luna Magic was something small. This I count. This is originally just going to be a GIF. Oh, that's that. Because when you say Marina, this is Marina. That's the OC from Everfree, but the Dolphin's just Dolphin. Actually, where's the Dolphin's over there? I keep forgetting about him. Well, hello, Kyle. We're opening up old files and goofing around. Yeah, this one I want to go back to finishing potentially. I was just trying to figure out how to like buildings. But yeah, that's whatever on that one. This one I had to play with the fog first. So let me do that quick. Is it gonna load? Yeah, it will. Okay, can I? Yes, I can still see it. All right. I don't think I can type those. Nope. So this is start -6585. And actually this is the wrong one. Start 6585. 2731. And then 625025. There's a mod I know you can download now that saves all this, but when I was working on this it didn't exist, so I have this all just saved and I haven't cared about saving it to keep it. So all right, there we go. So this one was Fallout one I was working on, but it kind of got, oh, this isn't even the right map at first. I gotta remember what map it actually is, because it's just black 2. So this one starts in the void. This one is a mess of a file because I never got around to cleaning it. When we came back, water came on like 20 minutes later. So water. Oh, the dolphin is, it's not really thrown in all the videos. Like the picture I was throwing it in because whatever, and it's fun to use. I do want to use them more because I think it's a fun little model. But no, it's just it's a long story, but it's just a joke. It's a joke that we probably took too far, and it's not a model. It's not just a model. We have an actual plush that bottle is based on. Oh yeah, our water's been back for a while. Like, so this one was one I was working on and got canceled because the scope became too big. It was a trailer-esque type video that was twice as long as the one I was doing right now that took 9 months. So.
Where are we going from here? Where do we go?
I don't like that camera shot.
Are we all blinded?
Most lip syncing was done for this part. Oh, wait, oh. Well, I guess not that part.
How do we know? Where do we go? Where are we going
And then it's going to be like the normal trailer thing where you're going to just show a bunch of shit happening at once. And this one's going to be me stopping a lot because there's a lot to it. Like, this one passed up fast, but it's just with the lights on, it was super slow. A Zenith. I had to cut that short. And that's a different map, but it's not that great anyway. And then I haven't. This one. This would be a fade at the end. That scene will take forever to put together too. But yeah, I never got around to finishing that. Second Alma PMSP, it wasn't the same dolphin, it was a different dolphin. But then for my birthday, I ended up, a friend of mine, Aggie, sent me a different one. And then ended up making it a Twitter account and just kind of took it from there. What else do I got here? I already went through other and canceled. Any canceled pictures? Kind of. But I don't remember. Like, this one I don't think was ever finished. Yeah, it was a forced meme, but yeah, like this is a picture I never actually got around to doing. Or to finishing anyway. It's just taking an old picture of mine. Somebody wanted something like that, and I was just putting it together. Whatever. I have so many Celestia face ones. There's some stuff I can show you. There actually is some stuff I still can't show you because of NDAs and stuff. But there's, I think that's about everything. Yeah. No. Oh yeah, that was the thing. Right. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, I'd probably go back to the pick at least. I think I want sharp line for that. But yeah, so in terms of like big stuff, the one thing I want to potentially do is, in terms of next big stuff, though, I want to focus on little stuff for a bit. Why did I go to Twitter? Is let's see if I can find it. Just random makes this hard. know what the picture is. There it is. No, wait, no, that's not it. That's the other one. I originally thought I was thinking of making one for that. This one. Girl Shooting Yourself in the Head. Was using this song, and I wanted to use this as a song to make for the Ministry Mares, because I feel like there's been lots of Pip stuff, and there's been lots of Blackjack stuff, but to me in the book, the Ministry Mare stuff was the coolest part, and from the memory orbs, and so I actually wanted to make a video focused on that, and this song fit, I guess. And they actually have Ministry Mare models, so I can actually like make it actually themed. Is that actual shoes? Yeah, it is. I really like Blackjack's. She's actually probably my favorite outfit out of them all. So I wanted to kind of do that, and the reason that would be nice is because while the song itself is 4.5 minutes long, a lot of the scenes would reuse some of the same shots, and the animating would be minimal. It'd be more of the ambience of it. So it would take me probably as long as like probably, if I really worked on it at a pretty good pace, I could finish it in probably 4 to 6 months. But that's 4 to 6 months, no. So I don't know. It's like I don't want to get stuck in anything big, because I don't want to be. There's always other projects and ideas that come up, and I don't want to be stuck on one again, kind of like it was with the Australia one. So I really liked working on it, and I love the book and everything. It's just that I had so many other ideas come up while I was doing it, but I'm like, but I gotta finish this one first. Once again, it's because it's not moving. I can get super zoomed in. So I just want to make it so that it's not black on that edge there. And even then, I feel like her rim here should be up higher. Whatever. I'm gonna start setting up other people's lights. Sometimes the lights just will not feel right until everything else is kind of done. So works for me. Oh, we have a dolphin in there too. Oh, dolphin. You shouldn't be doing that. Let's keep dolphin right there. So the reason I liked this song for doing that is that the lyrics were, "I could not be there for you anymore. All the hopes and dreams we shared will be gone now. As I what is it? I can't remember the rest of it, even after just hearing it. But it's basically about the lyrics are simple, but it's about somebody that's dying and talking to somebody that's going to keep living, and basically passing the torch and saying, "I'm done. Go on without me." But the lyrics kind of work well for, I think, them. And I did want to have kind of a pip thing at the end to show that everything together for the whole thing was built, that they were building up for her to continue on. So that was my idea on it. But I always felt the Ministry Mares didn't get enough credit in terms of the amazing parts of the book that they were actually in. I loved their story. I'm not really caring about naming these. Yeah, out of all of them, like, Rarity was one. Like, I'm not a Rarity fan in any way, like, from the show. She just was never been my cup of tea. And, but in the book, I will admit that her character was probably one of the most interesting. Like, I think Rainbows has some interesting aspects, but part of her in the book, her thing was that there wasn't much known about her, which made sense. And even how she died, if she died, it was never said. Like, Twilight was, to me, made sense with how with what happened to her, being the sciencey stuff. And Applejack made sense too, but Rarity was one that I think gave up the most and had the saddest things happen to her. And then even like the sacrifice she did for Fluttershy, like that whole bit with Rarity was just like, Rarity in that book was actually really cool. Like, she was probably the coolest in the main six. So yeah. I might have to light two of these at once in a way. No, it's not going to work with how things are here. I think I'm just going to keep them separate. Is it not new light, is it? Nope. And in terms of that video, like, there's a couple shots that I have a general idea of what direction I want to go in, but like I have the perfect idea for Rarities, like how to do, because the whole build-up is going to be just like them being separated from each other and like growing distant, and then the end is going to be super spoilers, but it's going to be how they all end, like how they all die when the apocalypse hits. So and I already have the full idea as to how to do her shot. So and I think that out of any of them in that book, she's the one that deserves it the most. So I should get the lighting set in there. I think that just needs a little bit of a change in her emotion there. That should do it. But I think this is still going to need a drop in aperture even more. Because this is definitely the focus, but I feel like they need to at least be pretty in focus as well. So I kind of like that this was put farther back. The song is like 11 minutes long, but this is the only part of the song I like. Well, this is pretty good too, but I mean, it's just like, this is the one I listen for. Figure out the best way to go about lighting this, because I have that bridge, so I have to make sure that I'm lighting Pinky, but not in such a way that it's going to overly light some of this area. This radius in there, yeah. I think I have to utilize some of the other ones. Oh yeah, I was looking for a gobo at the end of the stream last time, and I never found it because it crashed. I might be able to utilize this to cover a little of everything. The shark's gonna need a light too, and actually there is these like lights coming in off these side areas. I probably should utilize those. There it is. I probably should utilize this one because I can actually see this one. God, Applejack. This is the part I'm not sure how it will work. Because I can't actually reflect light off of the water. I have to like shine it in awkward ways to make that work. Because it's reflecting the lights from like the ceiling and stuff. So if I want it to be lit, so how's this working? It's reflecting it off of surfaces and not off of lights. So if I want to have it bright, I need to shine it at the area in front of it. No, that's not working either. So I want to make sure I can get some kind of a light from it. In the water. Well, the water doesn't look like very much water right now. It's not carrying on these lights. I need to light these sharks a little bit. Am I using the water in anything right now? I don't think so. If that's the case, I can modify it a bit. So I'm using the middle skin. This will give me all the information regarding what it does. So it's scrolling at an angle 45, which is fine, at a rate 0.4, so we're going to slow that down half its speed. Frame rates, I'll keep that as it is. So it's refracting, yes. Refract tint, it's fine. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that's causing it to prevent it from being lit. Because right now there's like nothing that's touching it, but if I go to like this one, well, that one has some of the stuff off, I guess, but actually that might almost look more realistic than the other one. Oh no, this one works, but I think the I'll let you turn the texture speed down and then we'll check it from there. Good night, clans. The main worry is that because the texture is moving, once it's rendered, it actually does the motion blur for the motion. If I actually churn it so that it's going a better direction for what I'm doing, it might work better. So let's do a negative 40. No, I'll add 90 to it, so that's 135. Because then it should go side to side instead. Yep. Still too fast. Did I even slow it down when I did the 0.2 scroll, right? Oh, 0.1. I think it might be this one. Yes, actually. Lower might be faster. You know what? Easy to do. Why am I even bothering with doing it that way? Instead of slowing it down, I can just change the shutter speed. Even then, it's still... No. Still looks a little better. It's just that it makes the whole thing look more lit than it is, when technically I would like it like this. Well, actually, I wonder if... I have a better idea. We're just going to disable all of these. Because it's supposed to be that it's automated, so the water's moving. Well, I can just move the whole model. Back to the space. Actually, this looks better like that. Yeah, well, I'll keep it like that. Alright, so that fixes part of my water issue. Now it's... Okay, so this... Which lights are causing the reflections? Being that she's yellow and I'm seeing some of the yellow here, I'm thinking it's a good bit from her. Oops. Yeah. So even the shark's causing some. But most of these... So it looks like I don't think I can centralize the light to reflect off of any specific surface. It's based on angle, not position of light. So how can I make it do it? I don't think there's going to be a way. It's a game engine. It's not made to do it. There might be a way to kind of fake it. I just don't think it's gonna work. See if you can fake it with funny metrics. See if I go above it. It does pop up on the surface. Yeah, I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one. So I think what I can do is put it a little higher at the base and then put it a little further down towards the back. I don't think it's going to work the way I wanted it to. I should probably do this from the angle of the camera. Hey. Hi.
Can you mute the stream first?
Huh?
Can you mute the stream?
Oh,
Mute the stream.
what's that? Alright, so looks like something came up, so I might have to cut it here early, or not might, so I will be cutting it early, because we gotta head out, so, nothing bad, but, so I will probably finish this on Tuesday, and stuff, so, I gotta run, so, I'll be back Tuesday, normal time, sorry to cut it early, next Friday should be fine, so, yep, so sorry. We'll do Kitty and that. So, alright. I'll talk to you guys later. Sorry. Sorry. No, yeah, sorry. Alright, bye-bye.